Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. Today you're going to learn how to create a very nice and realistic rug for your scene. So let's get started. So let's start by creating a box. So I'm going to use this tool over here, this add cube tool, and I'm going to draw a box over here. Something like this. I'm going to adjust my box. Okay, something like this. Perfect. So for this first step, I'm going to delete the bottom of this box over here. Okay, so delete it, delete face, and that's it. So next step, we are going to subdivide this box. So I'm going to select everything and then press right click to subdivide. So let's subdivide it several times. Yeah. And so for the next step, I'm going to delete these edges over here. So I'm going to select one by one. So I'm going to change to edges here. And let's select it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's going to be a little bit better. It's very annoying actually to select these edges, but it's necessary. Okay, so press delete and dissolve edges. Perfect. So for the next step, let's add a bevel around the edges. So I'm going to add a modifier, bevel, and let's decrease a little bit the width the width amount actually. So something like this. Let's add some segments, right? Here on shading, you can turn on harden normal. So let me see if I'm not completely sure if this is the, yeah, this is the guy. Okay. So I think we have a little harsh edges. I'm going to increase a little bit more the amount, the width amount. So something like this. Okay, so looks nice. And maybe we can subdivide a little bit more. So let's add another subdivide. Here we go. Okay, perfect. So for this step, we are going to add a displacement modifier just to have some random imperfections on our rug. So I have an image to input in the displacement modifier, that's this one, but unfortunately I can't share it with you because this is from Polygon. So we have like to buy it over there. If you don't want to buy, of course, you can always use the sculpting workspace and sculpt your own wrinkles on your carpet. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to collapse these guys over here. Just leave the displacement. I'm going to add a texture. Okay, so I'm going to load my texture over here. So let's load it here. Perfect. So it's a little ugly. You're going to adjust that. So I'm going to go back to my displacement modifier, and I'm going to decrease strength. Okay, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to decrease the mid-level. Yeah, here we go. Much better. So let's adjust this texture here on the texture properties. So I'm going to change the extension here to extend. Okay, and here on this crop tab, I'm going to adjust where my wrinkle is going to be. So I'm going to press right click and just turn on shade smooth. Okay, so I have to select your object, of course, and then shade smooth. So it's going to be a little better to visualize it. Okay, so let's take a look here in the scene, and I'm going to flip axis, and maybe you can increase a little bit more the strength. So just to see where it is, go back here and let's play around with it. So something like this. So you have to play around, of course, with these numbers. Try something different. This is very cool. So it's definitely is going to give you a little bit more realism to your scene. So it's important to have it. Okay. All right. So let's duplicate this displacement, and for this second one, let's duplicate the texture as well. So let's add another one, texture 7. So here, let's change to texture 7. And let's adjust texture 7 as well. Okay, so let's bring this guy more to the other side. Here, extend it a bit. Yeah, looks nice. So again, I have to play with it, but it's going to be something like this. You can add another one here. Okay, so for me, I think it's like more than enough because my shot's going to get just this area over here. So I think this is more than enough. Okay, so let's go back here to the displacement. Maybe you can increase a little bit more. Oops, it's too much. 45, I think it's a good number. Same here, 45. Okay, looks interesting. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to bring this cough table up a little bit as well. So yeah, oops. Here we go. Okay, looks interesting. And now you can start like working with the flare and all the other stuffs. So the first thing we're gonna do here is let's change to the particles properties, and let's add a particle. Okay, and let's change to hair. Okay. Oops, of course you have to select you have to select the right object, otherwise you won't have like any particle on your object, right? So again, so let's select it and add a particle, add a hair. Okay, so as you can see, nothing happens because you have to actually apply the modifiers. I'm going to apply it, so I'm going to apply this one, and this one here, and here we go. So I'm going to decrease actually this hair length over here, so it's too big. Let's put something around 1.5. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. And let's turn on the advanced mode over here. Okay, I'm going to increase the number of particles as well, so around 2,500, something like that. Okay, I'm going to turn on the children interpolated. Okay, this is another one. It's important to turn on. Here we go. And let's take a look with 100 display amount samples. Just take a look what happened. Yeah, maybe this is enough. We still not know about it. Have to take some renders to make sure, but let's change it to 10. Okay, just to see like how, like visually, how many samples, how many particles it has. Okay, and let's add some um, random hair on our rug. So I'm going to go to physics and let's play around with this browning parameter over here. It's very sensitive, so we have to let me show you. If you increase it like too much, it's going to like mess around with your carpet or with your rug. So let's use like a very subtle number. So something like 0.003 or maybe 2. So depends on like the look you want to have. Okay. Okay, so let's go down a little bit and let's go here on roughness in the children tab, and let's play around with this random. So again, this also, it's very sensitive, so let's increase just a little bit it, so something like 2 or 3. Okay, so threshold, um I don't think we need to use it right now. We have the size here, but it's not going to affect anything because the random is like too small. Let me see the shape. Yeah, well, let's increase a little bit random, a little bit more. Let's see if we can play around with, yeah, and the end point. Yeah, something like this. Maybe it's too much, the roughness, so I'm going to decrease it to 3, oops, 4, maybe, yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to increase here the display amount again, and let's take render, see what happens. So, okay, so here it is. It's quite possible to see like anything because actually we can see some like hair like on it, but it's too small, so I have to increase here the Octane hair settings, the thickness of it. So let's increase to 0.1 maybe, and let's increase this one as well to 0.12. So okay, so we are like having some progress here. Maybe the number of samples that we are displaying is not enough, so I'm going to increase it to 200. Let's take a look. Yeah, so now looks a little bit more interesting. Okay, perfect. So this carpet is a little bit ugly because we have to add some textures to it, right? So I'm going to decrease this number to 10 again, just to like to be a little faster to render it. So we know that around 200 is going to be a good number. So this is like the important, it's important for now, but let's play with the texture right now. So I'm going to add another tab, another interface here. I'm going to change it to the shader editor, and let's add a material. So let's add the material. Okay, so I have downloaded actually one texture from the internet. You can always like find good texture and good rugs on the internet. So this is the rug you're going to use, and actually I have inverted in Photoshop, the colors. So we are going to use it as a mask to create some random on these like black areas over here. Okay. So you can always like look on the internet for good rugs. I'm gonna show you. So if you type like rug like on Google, like high quality or whatever, you're going to find like a lot of different websites. So here we have like this model rug. This is a good one, like to get textures. For example, this one here. So you can download it by just right click and save image as. So I'm not quite sure if I download it from this website, but this one is like pretty good. Yeah, here it is. You can download it like from rugvista.com. Okay, so let's continue here. So I'm going to apply this texture um, to my albedo. So let's connect it here. Let's take a look. Probably we need to open the UV because we didn't do that, right? So let's wait just to see what happened. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to turn off the particle system and I'm going to open these UVs. So select everything. I'm going to press U and Smart UV Project. And here it is. Let me see. Yeah, maybe we can use the project from view. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. And let's render it and see the texture over here so we can adjust it. Because this carpet actually is more vertical, right? So my my rugs is like square, so I have to adjust it. So something like this. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So okay, looks good, looks good. So let's go back to the shading. Shading, oops, to my layout. Actually, it was in my layout. Let me go back to the layout. Probably I was rendering over there, so that's why, yeah, it's taking a little longer to load. But yeah, so here I'm going to increase roughness. We don't need like that much roughness, and decrease specular because this carpet is a carpet, right? So it's not any reflective stuff or reflective object. So perfect. And now, guys, I'm going to apply the same texture here on the transmission just to have like some kind of like translucence hair. So it's going to help with the realism. So I'm going to turn on particle system again. Yeah. So let's increase the display amount here to 200 again. Let's take a look what happened. Yeah, here we go. So now we have like um, very nice texture and a very nice hair on it. So looks interesting. We have like, as you can see here, we have like the displacement that we have applied before. And again, this definitely gives some realism to the scene, to the object. So this is pretty cool. Okay, so let's continue here. And maybe this hair is like too high. I'm going to decrease it to 1 centimeter, which you also, let me just take a look here. Yeah, it's a little too high, but it's not that much. Okay. Okay, so we're going to change here to 50 again. Okay. And what we are going to do now is we are going to create another hair just for these black areas over here. So that's why like I have inverted the map. So now we have like the information of the black areas, and you're going to apply just for the black areas on our carpet over here. Okay, so I'm going to turn off this particle system. I'm going to add another one. Okay, so I'm going to change to hair, advanced, and let's change it here to 2 centimeters. Okay. Also, let's increase the thickness to 0.1 and also here 0.1 as well. So now we have like some particles around. Let's increase here the number of particles to 2,500 maybe. Not completely sure yet, but this is just a start. So let's turn on interpolated system as well. Okay, and let's add here on this texture area a texture, right? So let's create a new texture, texture 8, and let's import texture 8 here on the texture properties. So here we have texture 8. Let's open this up, this texture. So you can, of course, like work with your own texture. Let's import it. Perfect. So as you can see, like nothing happens because we have to make some changes here. If you go down a little bit, we have this influence, and if you turn off this general time and turn on hair length, it's going to work or should work, right? So let's re-render again, just take a look. Yeah, it's working. Looks like it's working. But there is something happened here. And the reason it's not working, actually I have to change here the mapping. So let's change the mapping to UV, and here we go. So as you can see, we have like this. Let's increase a little bit more. Here the display amount to 200. Here we are. So very nice effect, right? So let's play around with it. So let's do the same thing we have done before. Um, let's go to physics and let's increase Brownian a little bit, 0.03. So as you can see now we have like some random hair on our carpet, actually on our rug, right? So looks nice. Also, let's increase the roughness down here. Random. Let's take a look. Maybe you have to decrease here the particles, so it's too much. It's going to slow down my PC. So okay, let's take a look here. Something like this. Yeah. Looks interesting. You can also play around with kink, change kink to wave, and you can play around with this amplitude number over here. So let's put something around 0.1. Yeah. Okay, so let's render it again. I'm going to change to 200 samples. It's not samples actually, it's like the amount of hairs, right? So let's render it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so looks interesting. Okay, let's turn on the other particle system that we had done before. Let's take a look. So I'm going to increase the amount of hairs as well to 200. Okay. Okay, so looks interesting. Maybe we can increase a little bit the size of the thickness. So let's put something around 0.2. Yeah, here as well, 0.2. Okay, nice. Let's decrease a little bit the hair length. So let's put something around 0.7, just to see like the black areas like pop up a little bit more. So the black area is going to be higher than the white areas. So here we go. Okay, so let's render it in the scene. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to increase a little bit more the render amount. So this is something that you need to pay attention. Like here, the display amount is like actually related to the viewport. So if you render it now, it's just going to take this 100 amount of hairs on your rug. So you have to increase this as well. So I'm going to increase a little bit more to 300, okay, for the main rug, the main hair, and for the second hair, that's the black one, I'm going to increase also to 250. Okay, and here I'm going to decrease it to 50, and also this one to 50, just to like have again a faster viewport right now. Okay, so let's take a look here. So here we have like our carpet. Perfect. And I'm going to render it and I'm going to go back to you guys when it's done. Hey guys, so it has just finished and took around like 7 minutes to render. It's image, I think it's 4K. I'm not quite sure. Let me see. No, completely wrong. Actually, it's 3K. So I'm using like 300% of this value over here. So it's 3K. And as you can see, like we have like this beautiful rug and very easy to do, as you can see. So this is definitely is going to increase the realism of your scenes. So from now on, you can now like use hair from Blender. That it's a perfect combination with Octane, and again you have like a beautiful scenes. And let me know, show me as well like the results you are getting. I'll be glad to see it, and if you have like any questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to answer them as well. Okay, so just leave your comments down below, and that's it. So thank you guys. See you in the next video.